Hello, Prop Juice community. Welcome in. It's been a while since we've done a video. I wanted to talk about some new features we have and kind of walk you around the platform and introduce some of the new widgets and kind of views and things we've been putting into the system, make sure everybody's aware of everything. So without further ado, I'll get into it. Again, we have our daily squeeze today. We got the Grizzlies plus 4.5. I don't know, man. It's a tough game there, I think, maybe tonight. We got two strugglers, man. Stragglers, however you want to define that, going at it. We got New York and Milwaukee. We actually got the Bucks taking this game tonight, even though a lot of people are saying the Knicks are going to take this. We got no Giannis again tonight, but Porter and Rollins have been playing well. They've covered a lot against the spread. They're actually 4-1 against the spread, while New York's 1-4 against the spread. Our top prop here, I would kind of ignore this. Actually, I'm going to take it, actually. I was thinking about ignoring it because we got SGA coming back. That's the big news of the day. We got SGA coming back after what? He's been out 9 games. And we got Donovan Mitchell out for Cleveland. So, we got one guy coming back, one guy sitting out, and it's going to be a good slate tonight. So I'm actually going to take Cason Wallace tonight, but let's start with the games. So if we go into, actually, let's just go into all the games. I don't want to look at that game in particular. Let's check out the Denver Oklahoma City game. Make myself a little bit smaller here. Again, you can go all to your props. You go to just to Oklahoma City Thunder props, just to Nuggets props, or both game props here. Here we got our card information. We're saying this is not a very good grade, most likely because we've got a 60% chance of winning. The edge is a negative 0.19. The odds are kind of there's not a lot of juice to this game. Again, SGA is coming back. We got Hartenstein, we got Holmgren. Everybody's kind of back in the mix here. So the Thunder, we've got winning this game, 57% chance of probability. Now that's lower than the 72, so you might consider taking the Nuggets to cover, which we're also suggesting might happen. You might expand that back to like 10.5 and with some padding, and then maybe take the under or the over or an alt under or an alt over based on what you're seeing over here on the lines or what you're thinking as a human expert SME. So again, if you look at the spread here, we're showing we've got them covering, so we're within this confidence here of the Nuggets potentially covering this game at 8.5. We got it all the way. Our biggest confidence, 70% would be 14. So if you did a plus 14 or a plus 15, that give you a 70% confidence that you would win that bet. Over here on the totals, the book is at 234. Our consensus is at 237, just slightly over. You could think about taking this over, or you can maybe take the under 238 or the under 240. Again, if you're looking at these confidence intervals, a better one to look at is the Knicks game. So I might go over there real quick. I think the Knicks game has a neater one to look at in terms of totals. That wasn't the game I was thinking about. I was looking at one earlier. Was it the Cleveland? It's a little, yeah. It wasn't it either. Which game was I looking at? Is it Brooklyn, Boston? No, that's not it. And Memphis, Dallas most certainly wasn't it. Maybe it was this game. Let me see. Cleveland, Detroit. So again, we've got the 227 is the book, and we're saying 237, but our confidence goes all the way down to 216. So you could take the over 216 to get to this, right? Or you could take the under, 258. It's kind of high, maybe under 250, on this game. So that's kind of how to use these intervals. Like look for the interval and kind of come inside of it a little bit. If you want 65%, 60%, again, this is a 70% interval around our estimate. Okay. And then you got to play with the totals. So, like I said, here's the 217. So if you take this all the way back to 217, right, then you're going to get an 85% chance of going over, right? So you might want to take this up to like 220, maybe get an 80% chance of going over, or you could take it all the way up to maybe 240 and take the under on 240, flip this going under, and under 240 gives you a 54% chance. If you want to take this up to like 250, then you get a 71% chance. So again, this is how to play with the probability projector in here. It gives you the probability at whatever point threshold, and then reset it to get back to what the original is, and make sure that you're either over or under on here, and you're looking at the over or the under depending on which way you want to go. So again, great for looking at alt lines of totals if you wanted to try that out. Another thing I'll throw out is we have everything down here in this table. So you've got the spread, which way it's going, which way the pick is going, if it's plus or minus. You got the scores here to help you. So we got a 116, 114 game, Pistons. Again, Mitchell's out. I don't think these Cavs point totals are probably going to hold as well because Mitchell's out. We actually have another model that we've been working on that is not currently in the in our app that we're going to be adding over the next couple of weeks that uses the props as the inputs to the model, our prop projections as inputs to the model, and then kind of alters those a little bit and plays with them and then gives you an alternative outcome. And so that's based on who's playing in the game. So that estimate actually does not have Donovan Mitchell in it for tonight. And that game, that model is showing, I thought I'd just go ahead and pull it up for you. Give you some inside information here. Let me see. Got the new model, condensed version. What is it saying here? It is saying we got Oklahoma City 124, Denver Nuggets 114. Sorry, wrong game. I'm in the Cavs Pistons game. We got the Pistons 117 and the Cavs 113. So again, it's still closer to this 113, 117, 113. Probably like this model here is probably the closest to the new model we have. So again, what's that? A 5 point difference or so, or 4.5. So that tells you right there, 4.5 point difference. So I think I got a Pistons minus 2.5. I think I got a Pistons money line, and then I've parlayed that with some other things. If you want to look at the current lineup, right? You got who's playing tonight. We got Donovan Mitchell day to day. It did say out earlier, so we could double check that. And if you want to take another reference spot on that, maybe look at the NBA injury report specifically. We could double check that. Not many out for the Pistons. We got Mitchell out. Harden's questionable. Schroeder's questionable. Ellis is questionable. Mobley's day to day. So yeah, it doesn't look like the Cavs are coming at full steam here. I think I'm going Pistons in this one based on what I'm seeing. So let's check out those props just for this game. Sorry, my internet is a little slow today. Hopefully it'll reset here in a second. Okay, here we go. I think the three key players in this game the two for the Pistons are Paul Reed, Tobias Harris, and then Jalen Duren. Those are the three for the Pistons. And then I'm going to look at Jared Allen for the Cavs. So you might want to look at Ron Holland as well. So, and maybe Jalen Tyson. So I would take Allen over 25 points and rebounds tonight. He's got a streak going, right? We got a good streak going. This is a streak. This is the points he's hit in that streak. He's hit the last 5 times in this thing. He's only had one on the line here at 24 a couple of games ago. It was against Oklahoma City. And then I thought I would kind of cover this graph. So let's take everything off of it except for the minutes and the actual. Okay. So I wanted to kind of talk about this graph because some of you guys in the user community were asking some questions. And so first of all, let's take volatility off the graph. So if you just plot these two lines on this graph, and I think this is going to be our default view coming forward, is that you have what the players actually scored, okay, compared to whatever his line is tonight. So is he over or under that line? And then you've got his minutes played. So you can kind of compare, his minutes right here are correlated at like 0.99, right? So we could probably take minutes off. We don't expect minutes to change for Jared Allen tonight. He's going to be in that same minutes ballpark. Let's put it back on. So, I would say somewhere above, 27, 28, 28, 29 minutes, somewhere in here. With the injuries and Mobley being questionable, he might be, upper 30s or low 30s here. So that's where we can expect him to be on minutes. And so then you can look over here for a stat, right? And so, he had 10 games ago, he had 57 points and rebounds, right? Now he's come down from that, but he's pretty on a roar here. I mean, he's been consistently over. I think he's a good bet to go over 25. Okay. If you want to look at how the defense plays him here, what this does, let's go back up. Okay. So then let's look at his volatility score. Okay. I was trying to explain this a little bit yesterday on Twitter. And essentially, You can look at his volatility scores from the last 10 games, 5 games, and 3 games. And the smaller the volatility, the more consistent that player's been over the stretch. So if we want to look at volatility over 10 games, his volatility is plus or minus 10. Okay. So 10.5 is the number. That's a pretty big number. Let's go to 5. Okay. Over 5, he's only been 7. So that's a smaller number. And then over the last 3, it's around 7. So that's smaller as well. So when you compare his smaller windows to the longer window, he's been more consistent over the short run than he has the long run. Okay. That's what that's telling us based on a metric. Okay. Smaller is better. Okay. So we know that he's been better recently. He's been more consistent and he's been above. So above and consistent equals good bet in my head. Okay. How does the defense play this position? What do they allow points and rebounds wise compared to other defenses this player's played? So what I want to let you know is that this is what the Clippers typically allow at this position. So this is the five spot. I think that Allen plays the 5 spot. So for the 5. So I'm assuming it's the 5 spot. So let's just assume 5 spot for right now. We got opponent average 33 points and rebounds to the 5 spot for the Clippers. The Kings give up more than that. They give up 37. Denver gives up more than that, 43. The Wizards only give up 30. Brooklyn these days is only giving up 32. These are all 10-game rolling averages as well. So it's recent history that we're comparing them against. And then we're giving Charlotte gives up fewer. They 29, but he had 40 against Charlotte, right? So I mean, also I should point out that these defensive ratings are for the position. And so I need to add it. Oh, here's the tooltip. So defensive stats are by position, not player specific. So this could be divided by 2 or 3 players, right? So we're about to put in like a 2/3 shading on each bar to kind of give a reference point that if you're just looking at, 1 to 2 players, this is better reference here. So this is what's given up by the Pistons, about 41. We're projecting him to have 30. Again, the scale for the opponent allowed, purple is on the right, and for what's given up is on the left. Detroit allows 40. We're projecting 30. That's certainly within that range. If you look at all the other bars, he's been well over these bars, so this still clears it. So again, he's clearing the defensive bar like he has in the past. He's got more consistency the last 3 games, +7, and the last 5 games, +6, over the last 10 games, which is +11 in terms of volatility. Okay. We expect him to be playing the same number of minutes. So this is a pretty good bet. He's on a streak. All these things point to yes. Okay. We've got a 70% chance he goes over 25. Now, if you want to put like a 3-leg parlay together and you're nervous about putting 3 overs together, you can dial him back to 20 and feel pretty good about that. He's got an 85% chance. Now, that's not going to give you much juice, so you're going to have to add 2 or 3 players to it. But you can dial him back to 20, and you're going to give him an 85% chance. And then if you look at his trends, 21 is the lowest he's had in the last 10 games. So over 20 is a really safe bet. Not a lot of juice, but on a parlay could add some value. All right, I hope that helps with the volatility, how the opponent and the defense. This is just what the player's averaged, right? He's averaged across this time span, or across the season, more than 20, but not 25. But he's kind of on a heater lately. He's been averaging up, and this trend is going up, right? It's got a slight positive slope to it. All right, let's go down here to these. We got 2 different models saying he's going to go over. Our quant line model saying he's got a 31. This is kind of an optimized kind of a rolling average with some components worked in. This is a full-blown model. It's got other players in it. It's got other features in it. It's got information about like distance and travel and that kind of thing. So this is a better model than than this one. So it's a more overfit, more specified model. This is a less specified, kind of a freer model. Together, though, they're giving you a consensus that he's both going over. and together around 30, I would go with the PVP. But I like I like the PVP in my own head. I go with PVP, but I like it to be supported by the other two. And so I'll bet the PVP line, but only when all three are green. So I'm going to bet the 29 projection, not the 31 projection, if you will, but they all have to be green. And here we go. Quant line, 73% he goes over. PVP, 70% he goes over. So that gives you like a 71% he's going over. And market also favors. So when you go into the book, he's going to be less than minus 110 or 115. What is it? It is 115. Yes, it's going to be 115. Yeah. So the book slightly favors it as well. So it's not a minus 110, it's a minus 115. Okay, so I think that covers that. Okay, up here at the view, again, you can go back to the Cleveland Cavaliers and check out games. So you could say, is this going to be a high scoring game? A lot of people like to look at whether or not the game is going to be high scoring and then look for overs. That's a good kind of a way to do it. Or is it going to be a low scoring game and look for unders? Let's go back to the player. You can get this player. What I wanted to do here is that I also put this player in, Jarrett Allen. I split his points and his rebounds up. And so you can go here. You can get all Jarrett Allen's props on a single page. If you click on Jarrett Allen, again, my internet's being slow. I'm sorry. It's probably going to show up here in a second. Yes. So you got all his props here. Okay. So if you wanted to go from here to points and do it that way, you can, or you can go here and just change whichever prop you want to look at. So we can go to rebounds, right? He's on a rebound heater. So he's on a streak on rebounds. He's also on a streak on points. He's only had one below. Okay. One below what we're looking at here. So what I did is I went in and I did a over 15 and I did over 9 boards. So you could do over 10. Also, what this signals to me is going to have a double-double. So you could do a straight double-double bet. You could do a straight points and rebounds over 24.5 bet. You could do a Jarrett Allen over 15 points, over 9 rebounds and hedge. That gives you that 24, right? That's under the 25, which we were kind of concerned about maybe. And so you get the 24 that way with 15 and 9. Do them separately. You get plus money on that. It's better juice than if you just do points and rebounds by itself, okay? Or you can do points and rebounds. You can go for the full 10, or you can do the double-double, like I said. Let's see what we got for double-double here. PVP says 48% chance. Consensus says 56% chance. Market is only 42. But we're saying double-double. So he's got a greater than 50% chance to go for a double-double. That's supported by the double-double analysis, right? He's had 9 out of 10 double-doubles, okay? And he's gotten them across all types of defenses. So that's supported there. And then if you look at his rebounds, we are projecting over 10, a 10.7. Now that's a close call. We only got, what's the percent difference on that? Let's go back to rebounds. Yeah, so it's a close call. That's why I went with 9. If you go over 8.5, that gets you 76%, right? So I did do the over 25.5 because you could have 16, 17 points and 9 boards, right? It still get you over 25. Then I did 9 boards because that's the metric that's kind of leaning left or left. And then I did 20, and then I splurged for a double-double. So 3 different types of bets you can make with Jarrett Allen. You could then pair him with Paul Reed for points. Again, I took 8. If you look at where he's missed, right? He's gotten 8, 9, and 8 on the ones he's missed. So if you go back here, he's got 8 and he's got 10 and he's got 15 and he's over and over. So you could take his over, right? And it looks like he's kind of on a little bit of a down streak, but he could come back up, or he could just go back under again or stay right around in here in the 8. So I went with 8. 7. Yeah, he's had over 8 points the last 7 games. He could come back down tonight. Depends on how much Jalen Duren plays. Let's see what his minutes look like. Let's take everything off of this except for minutes and actual. We can take his volatility off as well. So yeah, his minutes are coming down a little bit. So that's interesting. They went up while Duren was out, and they've come down the last 2 games. So you might want to be cognizant of that, right? That Duren could be playing. Let's look at the injury reports for this game. So if we go to the money line Detroit, we go down to the injury reports. What do we got for Duren? Sorry, on Pistons? We got nothing. Duren's going to play. We got nothing on Duren here. And so again, we're showing 18 and 10, 18 and 9. Again, I splurged on that double there. And then we went with Paul Reed for over 8 points. And I think I got him in for 4 or 5 boards as well. I did a Paul Reed, Jalen Duren, and I did a Tobias Harris over 5 boards. See his 7 boards here? So let's go back to the Pistons. Let's go back to Harris. Harris is on a real good streak, right? Look at his streak. 6, 6, 5, 12, 10, 6, 8, 8, right? Okay. His line is 5.5. We've got him going over. Okay. I bet his volatility score is really good here. Here's his volatility. Let's see what it is. His volatility is 2. See, we had a 10 or on those points, rebounds, and assists. His volatility is a 2. Okay. What is it on 5? His volatility is 2.28, and on 3, 1.15. So he's really been consistent the last 3 games compared to, and he's still been consistent over 10. He totally could not give 6 boards tonight, but this is a really safe bet based on the metrics, right? I mean, you're looking at his history, right? He's got 1 under, 1 on the line, right? So you could take a 5 if you really are nervous about that. His lowest is 2 last 10 games. He's on a streak. His volatility means he's been consistent. Donovan Mitchell's out tonight. Evan Mobley is questionable. So again, in terms of Harris and who, they don't allow as much, right? But when he's played against a similar team, he still exceeded it, right? So Spurs only allows 6.5 boards to this position. He got 8 against them. Cleveland only allows 6. They got some really good rebounders. On the other side, we just picked up Jared Allen. We just picked up Paul Reed. We picked up Reed on Detroit. Yeah, so we're looking at Reed. So we could, he's going up against Jared Allen and Mobley. But I think he could get his 5 boards, definitely 5 boards, potentially, 6 or 7, right? So again, you can pair them with Jared Allen or Jalen Duren, and you've got all the overs you want from your models. You got your PVP saying he's going to get 6, get all 3 are green, right? And then all 3 of these models agree on the over. All of them agree not on the under. They only have a 25% chance to go under, but they have over a 60%. All of them have over a 60% chance to go over. Okay. You put the projection on here. Yeah. So the projections, if you look at the projection, it's trending upwards as well. He's getting more consistent. Again, he might not get it tonight, but all signs point to yes. Okay. That's Tobias Harris. So hopefully that's kind of giving you some insight into how to use the tools. I wanted to kind of look at the sorting up here. Again, you can sort by game. So again, my internet's a little slow, so it's going to filter down to the game and only give you the game. That's for each of these games. And then I can refresh this to get them. So I don't know what's going on with my internet connection. There we go. We had to go back to all. My team is constantly updating things as well, so we could be in the middle of an update. I did not tell them I was going to record this video, so I did want to. So let's just go back to all the games while we're working on loading here. You got all these different ways to sort. So one of the things I like to do is I first like to let's give me all the good grades, right? And we don't have a lot of A's. We're starting to see some grades. Let's go all the way to D. And then let's sort by percent difference. That's going to give me the biggest percent differences in what our model says compared to book lines. What do we have? Paul Reed, Tobias Harris. Oh, Duncan Robinson for 3s, right? For Detroit. This is just limited to Detroit. I wanted to go to Cleveland, Detroit. Oh, that's why. I had this selected and I couldn't get to that game. Okay, that's why. All right, so make sure this is always empty if you're trying to use these filters. That's what the case was. Okay, so we've got Jared Allen, Paul Reed, right? Those and Tobias Harris. They're all up near the top when we look at percent difference. When we look at hit rate, right? Last 10 games. Jared Allen, Tobias Harris, right? They're at the top. Oh, we got Duncan Robinson here. He's got a very low grade. We might want to check him out here in a second for 3s. We might also want to check out Ron Holland. We might want to check out Jalen Tyson. And then I saw Duncan Robinson as well for maybe points earlier. That's hit rate. We can look at streaks. Who's on a current streak? Tobias Harris, Jared Allen. We just saw those streaks, right? So they're going to put them up near the top for you. And then we can sort on volatility. So last 3 games, right? Tobias Harris, Duncan Robinson, Jared Allen, right? Paul Reed, right? Have the most consistency the last 3 games, right? On rebounds. And so let's look at Duncan Robinson because he keeps appearing in the top, right? Even though he doesn't have a very good grade, right? That might be something wrong with our grading system. Let's check him out here in a second. And then we can look at, did we do current streaks? Yeah, we did current streaks. If you just want to look at your top players, you can do player rank. You can sort by schedule, obviously, odds, percent difference. Those are my favorites. And then always come back to probability. These are going to be your highest probability hits. So you got Harris, Reed, Allen again, high probability, right? All right, so let's go to streaks. Let's go to current over streaks, and let's see Duncan Robinson. All right, so yeah, he's got a current streak going. He's got 4 where he's made at least 3 or more, and in the last 5, he's hit 2 or more. So again, you might want to parlay Duncan Robinson. You might want to do a straight over 3. You might want to take a straight over 3 with Tobias Harris over 5 boards and Jared Allen over 15 points, right? So you could do Jared Allen over 15 points, Duncan Robinson over 2 threes, and Tobias Harris over 5 boards. There's their first alt line, right? First alt line of all 3 of those guys. Put $10 on that. You could take all 3 at their straight overs, put $5 on that. Again, if you're a less risky person. I know there's a lot of people in our forum right now that are $5, $10, $25, $50 bettors, not necessarily $100, $250. Bettors more on the smaller side. So we could do 10, 15 on alt lines and maybe 5 on the full overs, half unit or something like that. Let's check out the volatility score. So it's plus 1.17 in the last 10, plus 1.10. So smaller in the last 5, and then plus 1.15. Again, small in the last 3. So 3 and 5 are smaller than 10. Again, more consistency lately. Okay. Again, we can take the volatility off. We can take the 10-game average off. We can take predicted off. That just gives you his actual and his minutes. His minutes are going up. There's no reason to believe his minutes are going down. I think this is a pretty good bet. Over 2 definitely, but probably over 3 is a good straight bet. It might be a little risky putting on a parlay with 4 or 5 guys, but for a straight bet, he does have this 1-2 in the last 5 games here against the defenses. So you want to compare him to Denver. He's still got 3. Chicago, he lit it up with 5. And so even though they only allow 1, he could probably get 2, maybe 3. Maybe because of this defensive rating, you only give him 2 tonight, or you only put him in for 2. I think he's probably could get 2. PVP says he can get 3. It's projected exactly 3. I might do an alt line of 2 given that. All 3 are green. All show over. So does market. It agrees with market. So when all our metrics show difference, they all show that this is a good bet, and then the market agrees. I like that. I think the reason this has a very low score on it. I mean, the odds are 142, which means it's definitely favored by the books. He's on this streak, right? I think that the reason that the grade is so low is because the actual difference is less than 1, right? So 2.5 is the line, and our projection's 3.1. So our absolute difference on that is only 0.6. And we like to have an absolute difference of 1 on what we call baby lines. So steals, blocks, assists less than 3, 4, rebounds less than 3, 4. Those are baby lines, similar to NFL receptions over 2, over 1.5, over 3. I like a full 1 point difference when I'm looking at those things. In addition to my percent difference being high. Okay. Yeah. So you got the Thunder winning tonight. Minus 310 is the odds. So the money line's probably not great. We actually have the Nuggets covering this game. I backed it off to 11. If you look at this interval, it goes down to about 14. So I got a plus 11.5 because of, no, I don't know why. I could probably, this is good. 8.5 right here. Oh, I know I did, because I was looking. No, that was a different game. Sorry. That was that the Detroit game where we put in I was right there. I can't remember what game I was looking at. Sorry. I've been looking at this app all morning. You get confused at what you see. So the Thunder are -1.5 against the spread, and the Nuggets are +7.5. So this 7.5 goes with this +8.5 as well. So I think that's why I did put in an 8.5, and then I put in another. I don't know why I put in 11.5, but I did. Then I think I put in an under 250 +11 and plus 11.5. Under 250 is what I did. And then I think I did a over 215, over 220, and then a minus a +8.5, something like that. Again, you can look at this table, and then, Jamal Murray is questionable with an illness tonight. I did not see that until now. See, this thing can be useful. So I got Jamal Murray in for a small over 15 points as an alt line, because I got him paired with who do I have in this game. Let's look at the props for this game. Hey, that's a scary bet. He hadn't been playing. Like I said, Cason Wallace is a scary bet because these two are probably gonna, they haven't been playing with each other lately. It's been 9 games. So even if you look at his last 10 on his assists, he's been really pretty good here over the last 20. But if you go back here when he was playing with Shai, he was over a couple, but under these others. So, but he's been on this streak, right? And he's been over the line, and his volatility. So his volatility over the last 10 is +2, and his volatility over the last 3 is +2. So he's fairly consistent. +2.5. What was 10? 10 was +2.6, +2.7. So I mean, it's really how that shifts. So this is the most recent. This is the most recent rolling, +2.07 across the 10. If you look back here, though, if you take the last 3 out and go back to here, then it's +2.3. Here it's +1.89. That's pretty good. So he's definitely gotten more volatile, but he's gone more up. See, he's gotten more volatile, but he's above the line a lot more often, right? He's above the line a lot more often in here. And if you look at this, we could take volatility off. We could take minutes off. We can take his 10 game off. Well, let's not take his 10 game off, right? So you can see the slope, the 10 game average and our prediction is also, the slope is up. Minutes haven't really changed since Orlando. So then you want to kind of go back here and you want to look at SGA, and you know, look at his assists, and then we'll just take Orlando. So this is the last game. So I thought it was 9 games. So we only have one in our visual history here. We only have one game they've played with each other, and Shai had 9. It was against Orlando. Had 9 assists. He was projected to have 7, so he was over. Okay. And then if you look at Jason in that game, he had 5 assists. We only projected him to have 1. So he still had 5 assists, and Shai had 9. It was against Orlando. Orlando allows a lot of assists. So does Denver. So basically even, right? I'm sorry, I was looking at San Antonio. We don't have Orlando in here. I wish we did. See, we lose the game when we go here because we have the forecast over the actual defense. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we only have 9 games in our opposition history. I wanted to say that was Orlando and they were the same. I can't say that. So unfortunately, I don't have that 10th game there to make that comparison. That would have been a really cool, neat way to do that. But everything says over here again. So I took it. Wager at your own risk, right? So yeah, that about does it. Lots of new cool features, I think, in the app these days. Bet syncing is working. You can kind of go to your bets. You should be able to see all your bets from all your books in there. And you should be able to see like what you've been doing the last 7 days and everything else, or what you've been doing in your actual bets, and your history will show up if you sync them in terms of DraftKings, FanDuel, Fanatics, and all that kind of stuff. And you can see your bet history and all that kind of stuff. So I encourage you to kind of do that and keep track of what's going on in the app. and play with your top dogs. The video that this video will get replaced down here, the Knowledge Center today, with the overview of what I just did. Then I'm hoping to start doing a daily kind of overview of the NBA, and then I'll be doing NBA and MLB in baseball season as the app gets more efficient and everything, and when we got everything in it. And then a reminder that there is a mobile. And you can ask our admin at propjuice.ai for a mobile test flight account in Apple, and we'll get you signed up and we'll get you the mobile app as well. It's a little cleaner in places. It has the same functionality, but we're consistently trying to make everything one-to-one. So you might see something show up in mobile before you see it show up on desktop or vice versa. That's where we are. Excited about where we are. We're continuing to add things. We think we have some really cool, neat features. I think we have some discriminators. I'm going to continue to add. We're going to be adding baseball March 26th. We're adding NCAA football and NCAA basketball for the fall. And we're also going to be adding in some new disaggregated models that you can use for live betting and for prediction markets. So that's our newest tool that will be coming out for the fall, we hope. Not during the fall. That will allow you to kind of think about in-game betting and how you want to play prediction markets in terms of buying and selling early or late based on what our model is saying, and how the flow of that game is going to go according to our models. So we think that's a really cool new feature that we're going to be adding. We're currently in progress doing. So luck to you guys this weekend, and I will see you on the flip side. Post all your wins, X, and let us know about it. Feel free to email us at admin at propjuice.ai for a test flight account, or to ask a question, make a feature request, report a bug. Anything and everything is possible at admin at propjuice.ai. So thanks. Go Thunder. SGA's back. Mitchell's out. Let's see how the slate goes tonight. Y'all have a good one.